It is, I'm looking for techniques, opportunities to get a better position, sweeps and turnovers, arm locks and chokes. And if we get to a point where I can't escape and he's choking me, I tap and we restart in this position. Or I put him in an arm lock or a leg lock, he taps, and so forth. But I don't want you to just tap without making some sort of reasonable attempt to escape. So again, for me to just say I'm gonna beat him, I'm just gonna win, would completely destroy the purpose of free rolling. So we tap, we go. All right, he makes the first throw, and I'm looking for counter throw. All right, he's looking for his escape. Oh! He's trying to take my back. I'm not gonna let him do that. Oh, he makes the nice roll. Good job. He's working. He goes to kick, and I'm looking for my escape. He's gonna hold on, no problem. I'm gonna peel him off this way. And I'm gonna see if he can make his armbar escape. He does. He pulls the arm out. We continue, he makes his break. He takes top, he's looking for his opportunity for arm lock or choke. And he wins. I tap, we restart. Make sense?
Sir.
It's not the end of the world if you get tapped or you get stuck. Restart. We tap again, we go again. Free roll. Have some fun. All right, friends, talk to me. What worked for you? How did you get the person down? Or what did you want to do and it didn't work? And let's see if we can work through it. What works?
Bridging.
Okay, so generally speaking from the beginning, we're talking in this position, but once you get down, bridging was a good escape. How'd you get the person down? What was your technique to get the fight started? How did you start the fight?
Head control.
Say again?
Head control.
Head control, okay. Pull the head down, maybe entangle, okay. What else? What works?
Wrist control.
All right, maybe wrist control, right? Maybe you start reeling them in, tying them up. What else worked?
A good grip. A good grip, like under the belt.
Make to the good grip, and then we're trying to break balance. Does that make sense? All right, so Caleb's gonna be here. Let's kind of remember, guys, if you make sure you're somewhere where you can see. If Caleb is on his knees, and the only thing touching are the toes, the balls of the feet, and the knees, he's very, very susceptible to be pushed forward, but not so much pushed back. Okay? So if I grab him and I push against him, he should be really strong, right? If I pull him forward, he should rock forward pretty easily because of the nature of his base. The difference is if he's holding on to me, I can't pull him forward because I'm his base, right? I pull him forward and he uses me as his base, right? So when we think about that, kind of think of him kind of like a very tall table, which might be easy to tip over, with 1, 2, 3, 4 legs. If I can get one of these feet to kick out, I own him. So if I grab him and I push him backwards, that's hard. The legs aren't really going to move. He's going to be tight. If I pull him forward and he puts his head on me and bases on me, I can't get him down because I'm his base. But now watch. If I pull on one and lift on the other, that leg will come up. Everybody see?
Yes, sir.
So he's going to resist by either repositioning himself or he's got to put this hand down. So I do this and he stops me. Now what should I do? Let's grab that hand and let's continue the drill. And I move right over and he tips over nicely. Does that make sense?
Sir.
All right. If he doesn't have a uniform, we make more of a wrestling grip. I'm going to grab inside the elbow and his neck. And again, I push back, he resists well. I pull him forward, he resists well. It might be a little bit difficult to go this way, but I can definitely go this way. Control, pull, that leg starts to come up. If he can slide his knees around really quick, he can readjust. I pull him, he kind of maneuvers and so forth. At this point, I hold, and I step on one of his table legs, sit, kick, and I move to the top. Does that make sense?
Sir.
These are ways to get your opponent into a broken balance position. All right? So you can get a top position. But there's other things we can do. We start here, maybe in a wrestler's grip, right? I can pull hard down on his neck and go right for a choke. I go to a choke, I sit back, I have guillotine. It's an easy, immediate thing you can try. If I'm not quick, he's gonna hop over. Then I've lost my position. So I'm here, I reach up, I yank the head down, I move to this position, I go to sit back, he hops over my guard, and now he's in a better position. He hops into the mount, and I no longer have much. I can hold his head. Sooner or later, he'll pull on my elbow, he'll get his head out. Then he's got a mount position. Now, this is a great opportunity for me to try to work my own mount escapes. So it's cool if you blow your initial attack while you're free rolling, so you get to work other things. All right. Who went for a submission that didn't work? You blew your submission. What happened, Dylan?
I just didn't do the Kimura right, actually. So,
Was it Americana or Kimura?
Americana. Actually.
Americana. All right, let's talk about Americana real quick. There's going to be right here. Did you work from the mount or side control?
The mount and side control didn't work. It didn't get either, really.
All right, so the key miracle of escaping is that this only hurts when the elbow is low. So once he moves his elbow high, man, I can do all kinds of stuff with this arm, and it's really not good. The Americana is not going to be effective. So the first thing that I always say is, if you're going to go for the Americana, I want to pin that arm with 2-on-1. Grab it. Bill likes to say like you're riding a motorcycle or bicycle, right? Like handlebars. Grab it, and I start to push until I get my elbow in his ear. I can even put my head down on his wrist for more weight. I dig under, and I grab, and then I pull down. Now watch. I'm also going to turn my hand this way. I'm going to rotate. You give gas to a motorcycle this way, it'd be like letting off the gas. And watch what it does to his hand, right? And then I can lift, and he'll tap quickly. Notice up here, I can do this all day. He's just not going to tap because I've given him too much room. The play in the shoulder isn't taken up. Same thing happens from side control. I want to be in a good position. He frames because he wants to escape. What I ultimately do is I pull the arm into position, get this hand into play, and I start locking. If he shoots his hand up, I got nothing, right? I have to change technique or I have to pull him back down. But again, I pull him down, hold my wrist, and then I crank his wrist this way. Is that already uncomfortable?
Yeah.
So that's already uncomfortable. You can see how you can torque that easily if you get it down by his side. This is great. This is okay. This doesn't work for Americana. Cool. Who else tried something that maybe didn't work? Head and arm choke from the guard or from the mount? All right. I do head and arm choke from the guard, from the mount, and from scarf hold. So, you were in the mount. You were on top.
Guard.
So you were in guard. I'm sorry. All right. So she was in guard. This happens to me all the time when I'm in the guard and somebody's tough, right? I go to start to clear. I want to get this arm across his face, but I want this hand off my body. So I'm going to push this one up, and I'm going to clear this one out of the way, right? Now, if he's holding onto my belt, I might have to really break his grip this way first, or even do a single grip. But let's say that he's just got his hands resting on me just for all intents and purposes. This hand has got to go across his face. I use my legs and I get to this position. I saw you had this, right? Now, did the elbow completely cover the side of his neck, or were you kind of on the top of the neck? The top of the neck makes this a neck crank. If I'm slightly to the side, I'm using my elbow to choke him, and his arm is choking him, and I can do this, and it should start to make the choke. But if not, hold on to something. Don't let him go. Put your hand on his body. One foot goes down, and I turn to the side. Now you can see my elbow is definitely on the side of his neck, not pointing straight up this way. Make sense? See, now I'm on the side. Now I make my choke, and that is a much tighter choke for the guard position. Here's why. This arm is across that part of his neck. and my arm is now choking here, not pushing on the back of his spine. If you do that one, you're on the back of the spine, you use your legs and stretch, you get a neck crank. All right? Pretty cool? All right, you have 2 techniques that we went over. Work the Americana. Make sure you can do it. You can do Americana from the mount or side control. Go ahead and play with that. And when you're in the guard, let's work this arm triangle or head and arm choke. If you're new, maybe come over here. Tance can help you, or Brent can help you, or Caleb can help you. If you know this choke, just grab somebody. So Hannah, do you know the head and arm choke? Hand position with a lot of chokes really either gives you something or takes something away. All right? So if Caleb is on the ground and I'm looking for a head and arm choke, all right, I could palm the hand, dig, and I could hold on to my uniform here and I can control him. But I don't have enough to choke him. I'm gonna squeeze as hard as I can. It's not gonna work. So some people grab and make gable grip and then they do it this way. I'm gonna say, if you've got great big biceps and you can make a curling motion, there's a lot of play, but if your biceps are strong, you could do that. Notice that when I get in position, I like to lock my hand on my bicep. Now watch, when I grab the back of my head, I can use my back, right? I'm holding my head, I do this, and I arch my back. I'm now using back muscles, bicep muscles, I'm using everything, and the lock doesn't slip. This can move around a lot. So the lock that I like, right, I pin him down, I use my chin to get his head in position, and I go here, I've got him, right? I start turning a little bit, and then I look up this way. See how it pulls that all into position? Neck muscle, my arch, my back, my chest fills up, takes up the space. It's just a better lock. Cool? All right, so he stands up. Same drill with guillotine choke, right? I go here. I've seen a lot of guys, they make gable grip, and then they lift and they crank this way. That will work. It really will. But when I grab my bicep here, sorry, he made the bad gagging sound. I grab my bicep here, it's hard to not choke him. I grab my bicep here, and then I put this in this position. He can't escape it because it's in a locked position, and then I can lift. I can drop into the guard and I can do that. So this is a locked position. From the back, we feed in, we dig for rear naked choke. I could do a hadaka jime, right? This is an old judo choke, right? Elbows on the back, hold in the gable grip, and then I can choke this way. This is a legit choke. But ear to ear, grab my bicep, and then I look up. Do you see what it does to his neck? So the locked position is pretty cool. Likewise, if he's trying to choke me, and this hand is available, right? Maybe it's even behind my head. If I can get to his fingers and peel this hand off, I can escape. He locks this in, and that's behind his head. I can't reach back there. Everybody look. I can't get to it. The best he's already choking, by the way. The best I can hope for is to grab his sleeve and muscle this down. If I can do that, that's my escape. So I don't want my fingers anywhere where he can unlock the choke. Once he goes here, behind my head, and I can feel his fingers, I grab a handful of fingers, I lift, I pull, and I can now start escaping. The fingers are very vulnerable to being bent or twisted, and we tend to lose the grip. So again, this is a great lock for a lot of cool chokes. Any questions on that? So, where is Brent? So the problem that we had was Brent is built like a mountain. He's a big dude. He's strong, right? I can get my legs locked around him. I can still clear him, and I get him to this position, and we're like, wait a minute. That hand seems like the hand got shorter. Well, it's got more real estate to get around. So here's the thing. I don't want to have my hand here. I really want it to be here. Now I just got 2 inches, right? I now can grab it. I can't get behind my head. So what should I do? Should I grab my gi? Should I go for like an Ezekiel kind of choke? Grab what you can and try to lock it, and then you make your choke. And if you can't, move to the side, and then it'll tighten up nicely. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
So it's totally legit. I'm 5'10", you're 6'2". he's a bigger guy, taller, you know, it's more real estate to cover, and I'm kind of here. I can't get this behind my head. I'm not going to get the advantage of using my back. But against Lyndon, who's closer to my size, I can work this well, okay? So again, if you can't reach it, could you grab your shirt? Yeah, it's just probably not going to be as good as getting the lock. But you do what you can if your arms aren't long enough to get across a giant man's or a bigger man's back. All right. How'd we do on arm triangle, head and arm choke? Did it help to move to the side? Did you feel a difference?
Oh, yeah.
What about Americana? When you turn the wrist out, did that work better? All right. So again, Americana's pretty basic, pretty simple choke on the arm lock. So once you kind of start figuring it out, it becomes way more effective. Did anybody go for another arm bar or another choke in your free roll that you had difficulty with? I taught this a couple days ago. Right after this, somebody else must have remembered the same choke and said, this is an old school Jiu-Jitsu lock that nobody uses anymore. Well, I used it a couple days before I saw the video, so maybe few people are using it, but it's still legit. The easy way into tiger lock is to get low on the man this way, and then you overhook this arm. I grab my uniform. When I sit up, I'm already in position. Hand on the shoulder, switch to the wrist. All right? Now, if he turns the thumb down, other way, I start to lose it. See how his elbow will bend? I'm also now too far down the arm. I need to be up here. So make sure that you're low, right? Again, I grab my shirt. I can pull him up if I want to. He feels how tight that is, and I don't even have a lock yet. That's just tight. Grab the shoulder. I transition to here. Now, he goes to turn his thumb down. I'm going to push the shoulder, and the shoulder rotates the arm back, and I got him. Now, again, look at the lock. I'm not just going to try to use my arms. It's the back. Right? I'm locked, and then I arch my back, puff out my chest. Does that make sense?
Perfect.
So if he stands up, we can be in a grappling position, and I can make overhook here. Grab my shirt. I don't know if y'all can see that. Can everybody see I've got my shirt? So we're here. Then I just switch to the shoulder, and I've got this lock. Now watch his hand. If he turns the thumb in the downward position and starts to pull out, I lose the lock. So again, I want to be close, I want to be tight, and then when I get here, I push the shoulder, slide down the elbow. Okay, then I can control the arm better. Once I get down here, past his elbow, it's easier for him to escape. The catch is, let's get on the tricep just about where the elbow is. The elbow is here, bend your elbow so everybody can see. I'm on the tricep, and then I push the shoulder out, and then I lock. Okay? And again, I'm doing that just with some arm strength. I didn't use my back at that point. Still a reasonable tap. All right, any other ones? All right, let's work tiger lock. Let's work it from two positions. So we'll work it from the mount the first time. Tiger lock is a straight arm lock. Get down low, maybe even ear to ear. My head is part of my base, my knees are part of my base. Overhook. I like to grab the uniform if I got a uniform on. Then I sit up. Maybe even push this foot out, grab that shoulder. And then it's a lot of back. Okay? Likewise, if we want to do it from the guard, I still have to get an overhook. This would be, if he puts his hand down, this one would not work, right? Very easily. I can pin him, right? But if I can, I want to clear and get deep here. I want to grab my shirt. Now, I start to push him away, and I shrimp out. Put my hand on the shoulder, slide to position. So do you see how I start close? Get the grip. I use my legs, push him back away until my hand is in the spot, and then I got him. Now, again, I could try to use just the arms. That will work. You can see he's making a face. But I want to arch my back, use my legs, right? It's this motion, right? When I hold it tight, I got him. Give it a try. Tiger lock. Go. All right, friends. So I magically use my ninja magic. Brent falls to the ground. Right? Wouldn't it be awesome if I could just do that? Right? All right. Spin here a little bit. All right, so I decided I wanted to go for tiger lock, okay? Now, keep in mind, real jiu-jitsu doesn't have any points. It's a self-defense or a combat art, right? So when I go down here, I'm just gonna hit him with the elbow, right? And then I'm gonna entangle this, right? I'm gonna hit him again. If I want to, I'm gonna grind into him. Once I get into this position, I notice Brent is super strong. And I'm like, crap, I don't think he's gonna tap. I slide down the elbow a little bit. I kick over his face, and I now use all my back and my leg to make the tiger lock worse.
Way worse.
So again, when we're kind of looking at it, right? Attack the eyes, hit with the elbow, I entangle, I grind with this elbow, make this position, right? I want to rotate, see his thumb could go down. I want to rotate the elbow by pushing the shoulder and get in position. Okay, if he bends his elbow, push your thumb to the ground. This is what I have. I now have to change and I have to do Kimura lock. That just makes sense. But let's say that I really want this one. Rotate the elbow down, push the shoulder out. You all right? You all right? Right? I still have to get back to this position so I can kick over. Okay? Now, I'm going to hold this and not kick my leg over. And watch what happens. He should pop up into the mount. I still have him. Maybe he escaped my, leg over his face and we're in this position. Remember, slide this down, kick your body away, use your legs, right? Lock the shoulder, and crank it. So even if he escapes kicking the leg over and goes into the top of the guard, if you control the arm, go back to the basic one we said with the guard. Use your knees, push away. Push that shoulder out. Rotate the thumb to the right position. You should be able to do this one. Pretty cool? All right.
Can you do that one where you dropped to your side before I went up into your guard so I can see it?
So you can see it? Give me Caleb. Caleb, number 2.
I'm just making sure.
All right. So, good position, right? Give him a little shot, loosen him up, come down, hit him with the elbow, right? Dig deep. I'm gonna grind on his face a little bit, which is uncomfortable. Meanwhile, I'm trying to secure this shoulder. I push the shoulder to rotate his arm. Watch his arm. Pretty important. I go to this position, and Caleb is, maybe he's not as strong as Brent, but maybe he's super flexible, and he's not tapping. Or he's just determined, right? I gotta hold this. I step to this position, I kick my foot over, and now I got him, okay? So when I kick my foot over, it pins the head down because he wants to get the head up to relieve tension. Let's look at that again just from the head position. So, Caleb, tell me if it's better or worse, right? I got you here, and I'm pulling, and you lift your head up. Like you're gonna do a sit-up. Better?
Better.
So I wanna keep that head down, which is why I turn, and I kick this foot over, and then I lock in this way. Okay? Pretty cool?
Very cool.
You don't even have to have this lock. There's a lot of jiu-jitsu guys that'll get to this position, and this is all they need. Right? But I still like the lock if you can get it. Okay? This is a totally legit arm block, similar to this one. Like you're doing this, you're not in the best position. I've seen guys come up and just underhook the arm there. Very much like the tiger lock. The tiger lock does require hand position or it's not tiger lock. Who wants to try kicking their foot over? If you want to give it a try, you saw what happened with Brent. He's tighter in the shoulder. When I went down, I had to leave my leg kind of loose. I didn't get it all the way over because his shoulder was as tight as it would go. I was still able to do it. Once I got all the way over with Caleb, I could really work that back. But if your man's tapping early, don't say, wait, I'm not in position. You know, when you start cranking on his shoulder, you won't have a friend after that. Give it a try. I'll borrow Lyndon this time. Haven't gotten to push my buddy Lyndon up. magic ability. He falls to the ground. Right? It's like my coolest trick of all time. All right.
Sting's gone.
I know, right? Dig in. Bop, bop, right? Start entangling. I'm going to grab my shirt this time, and I'm going to rotate to here. Now notice, if my leg doesn't go past his head, it's going to be difficult to get my foot over his head. I showed a lot of you guys. Go ahead and get to here, right? Now, I'm not going to worry about this as much. I'm going to hold his head. Then I'm going to sit back, and I got him. All right, now, this is totally stretched out, a little bit of pressure, and I've got him. I'm not holding him tightly. Lyndon, see if you can put your thumb down or point your thumb towards me. Start twisting in that direction. See if you can get the elbow out. Twist, twist, twist. All right, pretty much locked, right?
Yeah.
I got him. And that's not with strength. I could go back to this, and then I can stretch him out, and I own that arm. Let's remember that when we start, we're in this position. See how far the knee? It's hard for me to get my foot over his head here. So we go to here. Still, I could go farther. This is where I really want to be controlling this. I've already got a good arm lock here, but again, I could go to here just to hold, right? Push the head away, step, and then I got him. Right?
Sir.
Don't gank your friend. When you're doing this, be gentle, respect them tapping early, right? But when you're fighting, lock that thing, slow, steady pressure. You got a lot of power in your back. You can easily break the arm of an enemy on the street if you don't lose the grip and you're using your back and your legs, very powerful muscles, rather than just trying to use your biceps in the traditional Jiu-Jitsu, the traditional arm lock. Questions on this one?
Sir.
Let's line up.